Hello ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and welcome back to our channel. So today you may notice something a little bit different. We are not in our usual location. We are not in the basement, the garage, the crafting room, or anywhere near the house. So we have basically escaped quarantine. So let me give you an idea of where we are. So we are here at the in-laws house to do a little bit of landscaping. It is one of the few things that is allowed, so we used it as an excuse to escape the quarantine. You will notice that the backyard here is a swamp. Everything is on a hill. Now, we have already started hooking up the gutter system to the pipe to basically get all the water away from the house. This is a temporary thing above ground. Eventually, once we sort of verify the stability, this will be below ground. In the meantime, however, we are also going to do the exact same thing over here on this side. So today's project is going to be to run a line from the top of the hill all the way down to the bottom and basically come out right here into the wooded area to just kind of diffuse itself into the mulch pile. We're also going to go ahead and chop down some of these trees that are leaning toward the house, get those out of here as well today, and then that should do it. One thing that we're going to be fighting, as you can see, it is severely washing away. That's one of the reasons that we're doing this, to help get some of the rain off those gutters into the thing. And the biggest problem is these roots here. So I've got to cut through these, and I've decided to do it using a chainsaw. So let's see how that works out. Okay, we got the first set of roots that are the biggest ones down. Don't know what else we're going to encounter on the way down, so let's start digging. Let's see what we hit. And before anyone starts panicking about, you idiot, you're not supposed to use a chainsaw in the dirt. Yeah, I know that. So this is a free chainsaw that we got from someone. It is my sacrifice chainsaw that I use specifically for getting rid of roots in dirt. Works so much better than a lot of the other methods. Just in case it didn't, I brought my Sawzall, but chainsaw worked fine, so we'll see how easily they pull up when we get down to that part. For now, we're going to go ahead and start digging that trench. Okay, so I am convinced that every single root in the entire yard goes through here. I got all the ones above ground, but let's see, pretty much it has been nothing but root after root after root. The small ones we've been just chopping up with the grubbing hoe. The big ones we're still basically using the chainsaw, but she's getting there. We basically started up here, and we're only going about pipe deep. We're actually trying to leave a little bit of the pipe exposed because there's going to be dirt brought in to make this higher up, and that is basically how far we got to go. So I'm probably about maybe 1/3 of the way done. So yeah, about 1/3 of the way done, 2/3 to go, and I haven't had breakfast yet because the line of the Bojangles was out to the road. So back to it. Someone is bringing me lunch, but I don't know if I can make it that long. Man, doing this work without a trencher is just fun. We took a quick detour to get rid of the 3 trees that we mentioned earlier. Pulled out the real chainsaw for that. Say hello to the YouTubes. So the 3 trees are no longer leaning up toward the house. We'll get in there and thin out everything else later on, but for now, at least the ones that were close to the house are gone. Slowly but surely, we're getting a trench. I swear every root in the entire world must cross through here, kind of like the Borg nexus. This is where every single root in the world connects in one spot. And on top of that, it's clay. Recently rained wet clay. But we're almost there. The end is in sight. We're trying to make it to the end of the deck so we can connect over to there. And then I'm calling it done for the day, and we'll finish the rest later. She's getting there, folks. As the old saying goes, no plan survives contact with the enemy. So this one's getting a little bit tricky. Basically, the dirt's washed out so much that we're hitting foundation already. And gonna have to work it around. So basically what we've decided we're gonna do is bring dirt into this whole area through here. Before we replaced these stairs, the dirt actually was all the way to the top, to the bottom stair anyway. So we're gonna go ahead and backfill this, which is going to allow me to put my pipe right up underneath there. So we'll go ahead and remove the extension to the angle extension on the downspout and get this piece put in flush up against the foundation, and then cover it with dirt later on. Once it gets down to here, it'll still be back into the track as it goes down and connects into the rest of the piping system. So everything should work out, and once we bring in the extra dirt, she should be as pretty as the ones over here are going to be. We've all heard the story, you can be good or you can be lucky. Thank God I'm lucky. Turns out what I thought was the foundation was just gravel. Once we got the pick in there, once I got the piece off and got the pick in there, I was able to find out that it was just gravel. So I think I'm going to be able to actually bury this thing all the way up to the foundation, just like we wanted. And all nice and dug out. In fact, I should have realized that it wasn't quite to the foundation, because there you see the French drain that runs around the foundation was about 4 or 5 inches deep. So we're going to run this right up on top of the other French drain, tap it in, and get ready to get everything connected later. Okay, still got to put dirt around everything over there, but we got her covered up so no one's going to trip. And it's still crushable a little bit right now, but once we bring in that extra dirt, there should be enough protection that nothing's going to get crushed down. So now to finish cleaning out that trench, get that pipe in there, and we'll get that last section tied in. Gotta admit, I'm getting tired, but we're making progress. So basically, that last Y into that, get this pipe covered up, and then we'll be good to go. I'm gonna go ahead and grab that gravelly stuff up top and pour it mostly on here, and then put the muddy chunks on top. That way we'll get that nice crush and run type gravel mostly around the pipe as much as possible anyway, and instead of those mud chunks, and save the amount of I need to cover up in dirt instead. So let's go ahead and get that part done, and then we'll come back and show you where we're at. Okay, got the majority of it covered good enough for now. Now let's turn our attention over to this side, get this dug out. and get attached. As you can see, we can already see the French drain there. So I'm not going to be able to go on top of it as easily, I don't think. So this one may get a little interesting. I may try to go up underneath the French drain. I think that's pretty much what the only option is going to be to get it as close as I want to get it. Otherwise, on that one, we may have to use a longer hose from the gutter. We'll see what happens, but for now, let's get this trenched out. As you can see, we are quickly losing daylight. It is now 5 o'clock. So let's get her done. This is what I've been fighting all day long. This is the whole reason I brought out the chainsaw. It's like, it's just not worth trying to grub and hoe through roots like this. So let's pull the chainsaw out. Let's do some more root cutting. Just like that. Well worth the cost of tearing up a $15 blade. Okay. Pretty much got the trench dug. Unfortunately, this one is not going to be as easy as the last one because beneath that drain pipe there is foundation. So I'm going to have to keep this one a certain distance away. So we'll see how we want to tackle this. Do I want to use the Y, or do I want to just connect a pipe directly there and just actually have it bury into the ground and directly connect without a Y? I like the Ys because it makes them easy to clean out, but the Y is going to have to stick kind of way back here, which is going to look a little bit odd. But it is underneath the deck, not going to be seen, so more than likely we're going to go ahead and still use the Y to make it easy for clean out, and just go with it that way. Okay, today's goal is just about complete. Pretty much got it put in. Got to cover it up to right here, and then tomorrow we'll dig a trench the rest of the way down for all the leftover pipe, and pick up from Home Depot the needed accessories to connect the actual gutters to the pipes, and then basically clean up all the dirt, and then this project will be done. So let me cover this up, and then we'll call day one complete. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's a wrap. Like I said, we couldn't get that one as close, but there's actually an extension on the gutter. We're going to actually remove the gutter farther up, connect a longer piece, and then run it down into that one. I think that will work out well. We got everything buried into the ground from this point all the way out. Like I say, she's not pretty. There's a lot of clumpy mud that I've got to get up, and there will be prettier dirt brought in here as a later part of this project. But for now, the hose is just drained out to the wooded area. We'll get this buried tomorrow and get the gutters attached. So we will see you all tomorrow. Okay, we got the gutter off. In fact, the entire thing came out from up top, so I'm going to have to put it back in. The problem we run into is that instead of crimping it and joining it, they actually just shoved it in there, so it's very tight, and I'm having trouble getting it out. So we're going to have to kind of step back and figure out exactly what we're going to do here. All right, we got them separated. One person on each end pulling while I kind of wiggle and jiggle in the middle, and she popped loose. And the good news is the long extension actually did hit the screws of the factory bracket, so we won't have to drill any more holes into the hardy plank. We can bring it right down into the exact same location it was. So finally, something on the bright side, and got us a win. Now theirs is not crimped. But luckily I bought my special crimping pliers designed to crimp metal for duct work, and I should be able to put us a nice easy connection. Now we may not actually even need it. I'm going to try it first, see if it works. Oh yeah, not even needed. So we can just screw it down, attach her in. Now let's go up top, make sure everything looks like it's connected correctly. Okay, they never actually attached this part up here, but I think we are going to. First, let's make sure she's all the way snug, like she used to be. There we go. Of course, I get a bunch more than I need, because that's the way it works. Okay, now she shouldn't pop loose up here. Now let's go finish the bottom. Okay, after a little forcing up there, now the holes line up the way they're supposed to. So now we know we're right back where we were. So let's go ahead and put these screws back in and get her connected. Okay, we stuck this long piece of pipe in, just so I had it extra. But we want the nice new pretty one that kind of matches everything else to go as far down as possible. So we're going to kind of extend this out and get it connected up to the top now that we've got those screws in, and see how long it is. See if we can get it as close as we can to the ground. That way there's less of the black pipe sticking out. One thing you'll notice about this device is it's designed for either a 3-inch or a 4-inch spout. This is the 3-inch down here, so basically we need to cut it off so that it fits into the pipe. We also used a little bit more screws than I normally would to make sure everything's going to hold tight while I'm down here yanking on this and extending it out. All right. Now, looks like we can cut this pretty close. Okay, that's about as pretty as we can get it. We may want to angle it up a little bit just to help make sure the water flows down as nicely as it needs to. But we can tweak this a little bit later on, whether we want to do it straight we'll sort of wing it, figure out which way looks the best. And this is something that we can get up with the homeowner and find out what the preference is. So we'll figure this out later on. Okay, now to do the same thing with these. I want to go ahead and disconnect it all the way up, but depending on these links, I may not be able to. We may actually have to connect down at the bottom. So let's see what happens. Yep, we had to use the built-in piece, but now everything is connected. A little bit shorter than I would like. I may wind up making that black pipe a little bit longer. We've got plenty of extra pieces, so what we may do is just sort of see how it handles the next big rainstorm, because if it works as is, then everything's fine. There's no need to start tearing things apart just to do that, but we may extend that black pipe if needed. That's one of the nice reasons about doing it this way, is the wide joint is right there above ground, so it's easy to pop that little small piece of black pipe out and put a bigger piece in as needed. So that's one of the reasons I like doing it that way. Yeah, this one keeps popping out, so I think I'm going to go ahead and cut a longer piece of black pipe anyway, just because we've got some extra. But once I get through doing that, all the rest, everything is done. Everything else is looking good. Like I said, we still need to discuss with the homeowner the best way to do this one here, that it looks the way it does. I don't like the way this looks, but because of the concrete, the only way to get this, that was as close as we could get burying it. We would have had to bring in a lot of dirt to carry it over top, get it closer to do it straight like the others. So this is sort of what we're stuck with, and this is going to be hidden. We may eventually come in and surround the deck with lattice work. So once that happens, this will be even more hidden than it is now, but we'll clean this up a little bit. I'll use some of that black pipe right there to make a little bit longer section for that one, and then that part of the project's done. The only thing left to do is to dig the trench out to the wooded area. And done. And it only took about 5-10 seconds. Like I said, that's why I like doing it this way. There's the old one for comparison as far as it went in, and the new one, and now everything fits nice and neat and pretty. So basically, time to find out how everything handles the rainstorms. Today I forgot my chainsaw, so all of these roots are having to come up with the grubbing hoe. This is going to be fun. Luckily it's only about 10 feet, 15 feet, so we're slowly getting there. Okay, got the hole dug. Got the pipe in. Now we got to start cleaning it up. The wide joint back here became problematic and wound up having to kind of dig everything up. And now in some spots it's not quite as low as it was. Kind of frustrating me. I don't want to dig the whole thing back up, but my OCD is kind of kicking in, and I just might have to fix it. Since we're bringing in more dirt anyway, I may leave it for now. This is something we can always fix later on, but there's plenty of a hole right here that we can fill dirt over top of it and flatten it out. So for now, we're just going to go that route, and then we'll trim that end up, start making it look pretty. Okay, she's still ugly, but she's covered up now. We got the leaf litter put back into place on the end. Pipe is basically covered up. Now we're going to go through and scoop as much of the dirt up and see just how much we can pretty it up, getting rid of all these mounds. So let's see what we can do. Okay, today, boys and girls, we are here to finish up getting some dirt. And this is a class in what not to wear when you are out doing manual physical labor. Pretty sure this is a violation of every code in every state and municipality. So hopefully I won't lose any digits. We'll see what happens. Stay tuned for the final look. All right, step one complete. We now have everything in the ground, and for the most part, all the extra dirt is cleaned up. Again, this is just phase one. Phase two is bringing in more dirt probably about 4 to 6 inches of topsoil to cover everything, and then maybe lay down some sod. But for now, all the extra dirt is tucked up underneath the deck so that we can use it for future projects as we're doing this, possibly even just pulling it over into the side when we bring in the extra topsoil. There are still some places in here where the pipe is not as covered as I would like. One good hard rain may even expose the top of it, but for now it's good enough. One last thing, I'm going to pull the chainsaw out, see if I can get rid of these 2 big stumps real quick, and after that we're going to call this project done and move on to phase 2. So let's see how I can do with these roots, and then stay tuned for the next phase. Thanks everybody. Okay, looks like this one's going to have to stay, these 2 for now. The chain is just too dull at this point. I don't know if I'd want to sacrifice a new chain just to get rid of these 2 stumps, so I may not worry about that. And just by as much as I was able to cut through, we're looking at about a 4 to 6 inch diameter root. This thing is very, very big. So in fact, it probably comes right off of that tree right there. So probably same with that one. So I'm going to basically say to the homeowner, let's leave these. Plus, I mean, we don't want to kill that tree, and with both of those roots being for that one, that tree could die, which it's technically one that they may want to get rid of anyway. But I think we are going to basically call it quits on trying to get these last 2 roots out, and let's just work on getting everything covered with dirt and carry it all into phase 2. So as I said before, we're going to call this project and this video done, and we will catch everybody on the next one. So thanks everybody for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the content. If you did, please like and subscribe. You know, all the usual stuff. Please share, and we will see you on the next video. Have a good one. They didn't even make it home. Freebie.